What's up, 12th man? It is Blue Friday today. Kind of the end of the nice weather we've been having. The clouds are rolling in. It's supposed to get kind of nasty this weekend, but enjoyed that little stint of 80-degree weather, considering that the rest of the country, the East Coast, was getting rained on and crazy stuff like that. So we had a nice week, And it was a good week for the Seahawks. You know, good news from the free agency side, getting Thomas locked up and all that good stuff. And there's even more coming. Just found out that O'Brien Schofield, he was one of the first guys who went into free agency, was supposed to sign a deal with the Giants. And guess what? He's coming back. Apparently things fell through for whatever reason, and he's going to be a Seahawk for at least one more year. So O'Brien Schofield, linebacker, coming back to the Seahawks. See, you just can't get away from this great place. No matter how much you try to leave, they pull you back in. I'm gonna pick up my buddy Steve. We're gonna go check out the draft day movie, since the drafting is in less than a week. Getting all geared up for that. So I thought I'd check out that movie, see what it's all about, see if it's any good. And I'm gonna review it here for you guys to let you guys know whether you should watch it or if it's a waste of time. It'll be the eyes and ears for the 12th man about this film. There was a little bit of a rumor there that perhaps the Seahawks could have been on the Hard Knocks show again. This would have been the third time they've been approached on it, and they could have been in it. Actually, people thought that maybe because they were in the playoffs the last couple of years they wouldn't be. Actually, that's not true. They could be in it. What it is that if they have a new rule now that the NFL can actually force a team to be on Hard Knocks, believe it or not. But if you were in the playoffs, there's a bunch of this criteria, but if you were in the playoffs last 2 years, or if you have a new head coach, they have these stipulations which would prevent a team from having to be forced to do the Hard Knocks show. But there are a few teams out there. Obviously, the Seahawks passed on it, Schneider and Carroll. And really, for us, it would have been fun to have seen that show. I would have loved to watch all the behind the scenes, but for them to, you know, keep winning and not let anything get in the way of that, I'm kind of glad that they're not doing it. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. I actually found this out. I heard it from somebody else, and so I looked it up, and I did see a rumor about this. I almost feel guilty bringing it up here because I feel like I'm fueling unsubstantiated fire and all that. But since Golden Tate did make it public, I guess I should respond and bring it up. But if you guys hadn't heard, this is very low key. I don't know why I hadn't heard about it. There was apparently a rumor started out there. Something going on between Golden Tate and Russell Wilson's wife, Ashton. You guys heard about this? That might have been something going on there. Maybe that's why they got divorced. Again, this could just be some rumor, all the people talking, trying to make up reasons why it happened. But apparently Golden Tate went so far as to go on Twitter and say that this was a bunch of lies, quit wasting your time, we were all good friends still, and all this stuff. So he was quick to say it's nothing going on, but I thought it was, I don't know, it's just interesting that it even popped up in the first place. And from what I had heard, that it actually came from someone from a Seahawk who brought this up. So again, I don't know. All I remember is of any connections. I remember there was a picture of a Halloween party of the four of them. They all went to like a Halloween party together a couple years ago, and it was Golden Tate's girlfriend and Golden Tate, and then Russell Wilson and his wife Ashton. They were all kind of posing together. That's the only time I've ever seen those guys together. But so who knows? But I'm gonna stop it there, because unless I hear something real, I will not continue it. You guys take this with a grain of salt. Look it up yourselves if you want to, but that's as far as I'm going with it. I'm not going to speculate any further. Kind of cool thing at the draft, Walter Jones will be introducing one of the second-round players. You know, that's kind of one of those perks for being one of the legendary greats. As you know, he was inducted in the Hall of Fame just this past year, so that'll be cool to see Walter up there. All right, here at Steve's. There he is outside, ready to go. What's up, what's up, what's up? There's Megan. You guys all know Megan. She's getting a little bit better with her Seahawk homework, learning some more players. She's more of a baseball fan, as you can see. And there's Steve over here.
How we doing?
It's Steve, nice shirt.
Thank you.
Steve is a somewhat relatively new Seahawk convert, right? We are gonna go see the movie Draft Day together, see what it's all about. We are here down at the Landing in Renton, not too far from the BMAC, which is right over there. You have down here at Regal Cinemas. Yep, we're gonna go grab our tickets for Draft Day, grab a bite over there at the what's it called again? Five Fingers? Five Guys?
Five Guys.
Five Guys Burgers. It'll be my first time to go in there. Looking forward to that. What do you think about this movie?
It's gonna be a good one. football, so it can't be bad.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing people saying they want to go because the Seahawks portrayed negatively in the movie and all this stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of I'm gonna do a little review on this movie. We'll talk about the movie after and see, just see how good or bad this movie really is.
Critique. Yeah?
You know what I'm saying? Now that's a big cup of fries. All right, we just got our food.
We got some bacon, cheese, barbecue sauce. It's gonna be good.
I got the bacon cheeseburger too. Some onions, some mushrooms, you know, all the other goodies. All right, there it is. This is my first burger from here, so you're gonna give me my review of this burger.
You're trying it with one hand.
One hand. I got a big finger there. Not bad. It's pretty good. I like it. Right. And I like the fries too. The fries are good. Got the little skin on them. Little skin on them. If this place wasn't swimming in peanuts, I'd bring the family here. But Sophie would swell up like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky if she walked into this place. With all the peanut shells everywhere. It's too bad. But I enjoy the food. It's good. And it's good stuff. All right, Steve and I, we just got out of draft day. Here's my take on it. Steve can chime in here with his take. You should know about Steve. So Steve is he works for a company called ComC, which is checkoutmycard.com. And let me turn the light on here. There you go. So yeah, so he follows a lot of different sports and players in his line of business. So this movie was interesting from different levels. But here's my take on it. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. Now I see why everyone was all talking about how the Seahawks were portrayed in this movie. And they did make the Seahawks like, you know, kind of like the bad guys on the block. They needed some kind of antagonist in the movie. So they made the Seattle GM basically kind of a prick, and, you know, made him sort of like the guy at the end of the show you wanted Kevin Costner, the GM of the Browns, to get even with, and he does. He pulls a fast one on him in the draft, and you know, turns the tide on him. But I think why it didn't bother me is because the only thing they had in common with that was just the name of the Seahawks. Everything about that team in the movie had nothing to do with reality. Seattle had the #1 pick, which meant that in 2013 they finished last, which, as we know, we won the Super Bowl. The GM was apparently like on the most hated list of Seattle. They had people picketing the practice facility. So none of it, you know, and he's like a beloved hero here in Seattle. So really has no bearing on anything reality. So I don't really even think about that people are going to go, wow, that must be how they run things in Seattle, you know. So it was just a character, but it was cool just to see, you know, just see all the Seattle shots and the facility and all the references. That was just cool. It's just cool to see it. But overall, I enjoyed it. Thought the portrayal of the energy of the draft was fun to kind of see how the game within the game works, well, behind the scenes. The only thing I thought was, yeah, a little bit, seemed like the screenwriters felt like, well, we need to add a love story to this. So let's have Kevin Costner and what's her name? Jennifer Garner have this love story that it's all secretive. At the end of the movie, we'll have them all make up, so he resolves his relationship with his mom and with Jennifer, and they're gonna have a baby, and everything's happy. You know, I like. You don't need every little bow tied up neatly. You know, I thought that felt a little too Disney-like. So I would have been fine if he still had, you know, a few, you know, issues left over. He didn't have to solve the entire, you know, every flaw of Kevin Costner in this movie was solved in one day with one good draft. I just thought that was a little too convenient. But other than that, I did enjoy it.
I like the real shots of the different stadiums. That was kind of cool.
Oh yeah. We saw at least 5 cities.
At least, yeah.
Kansas City, Jacksonville, Houston. I get cynical a little bit on these Hollywood endings, so I'm a little bit more jaded when it comes to that. There's been a ton of sports movies that have dealt with this type of subject, and Moneyball was a much better movie. If you want to get into the inside of, you know, the GM dealing with a team, Moneyball is so much better of a story. One, because it's true. It's based on a real guy. What was the character Brad Pitt plays? He's the guy. Billy Bean. And B, it was based on what really happened in the past. The team, you know, the actual team history was real. You know, they made that point in the movie how, you know, you look at they actually mentioned Ryan Leaf. I thought it was funny. They mentioned Ryan Leaf, #2 draft of 98 or whatever that was, and They said, you know, there was no such thing as a sure thing because he should have been a sure thing as opposed to Tom Brady, who went number 199 and all these other ones. So it was cool that they made ties to real players and real things that had happened in the draft.
They did back up some stats.
Moneyball felt so much more, I don't know, I just got drawn into it. It seemed everything was very really believable and real. So there's some good jokes in there. There's some good laughs. I was laughing at some stuff. There were some moments. They wanted to have that intern guy kind of played the sidekick character, comic relief, kind of similar to the guy in Moneyball, but in Moneyball the guy was so much more of an integral part of it. That was his theory of the numbers thing, yet he was still comic relief.
Showed up at all the
intern guy
times.
just was sort of popping up his head up with a dumb look on his face most of the time. But
the love story in that guy is just enough to maybe get, you know, the females to watch them.
I know, I hate to sound sexist thinking of it, but I almost felt like, yeah, well, you know, the producer or the writer's going, well, you know, this is great, we'll get all the football fans in there, but we need something for the ladies, so let's create some, I know, a baby and a hidden secret relationship, that'll get him. Didn't need that. It would have been the same movie if I didn't have that part. At the end, I wasn't shedding a tear because of that. Didn't quite hit me in the heartstrings. Not that I'm not an emotional guy. I mean, I cried at, you know, the Rapunzel movie at the end. Gets me every time. I don't know why. What's that movie called?
Tangled.
Tangled. Yes, that part when
I remember the end of that one.
He cuts her hair because he wants her to be free, even though he knows he's gonna die. Gets me every time. Anyway, so I do have a heart. I just, you know, I'm not a complete cynic. How many stars would you give it?
I'd have to give it 3.
I mean, there have been some bad sports movies. I think the worst football movie I've ever seen is Any Given Sunday. Had Al Pacino.
Did not see that one.
Oh, you're not missing anything.
Okay.
It was horrible. It was so badly put together.
See, although this movie didn't have necessarily highlights, you know, I mean.
Oh yeah, no, there was no game. I mean, barely. But this wasn't about a football team.
When they were reviewing the game film, which looked real.
Looked pretty real. They did a pretty good job.
So that's why, you know, I give it the higher marks. I hate movies, and it doesn't even matter what sport, where they're doing something. And, you know, if it's baseball, you could see him hit the ball, and clearly he hit a ground ball, and next thing you know, it's a home run. That's, those are the movies I can't hang with.
Or,
you know, that's a 1.
And sometimes they're just things that, they portray a sports situation, and it's, like you said, it's so obvious that it was manufactured and created that we've seen enough football games or baseball games that we know what it should look like. So when you see it not real, you can see right through it.
Right. That's when.
And that's what Any Given Sunday. Yeah, and that's what Any Given Sunday was like. In fact, that movie was so bad, the NFL did not allow them to use the NFL teams. So they had all these made-up teams with these horrible-looking. It looked like the XFL. Remember that? Yeah. Or it's because I'm sure they saw the script and said, "No, there's no way we're putting our name on this thing." So this is far above that. I'd say, I don't know if I give it the 3. I mean, the enjoyment level was at the 3, and then the unnecessary relationship and schmaltzy stuff pulled me back down. So I'm somewhere between a 2.5. If I could, I'd say 2 3/4 from that reason.
So overall, we'll give it a 2.75.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you guys can go check it out if you want. I think people overbuilt the being offended because you're a Seahawk fan that this represents the Seahawks poorly. Yeah, I don't worry about that. It's all done in a Hollywood fashion that really has no basis upon reality. So it was one of those things where if we actually did look like that, and our situation was drastically close to it, I think it would hit worse if we actually were like that. If we were like the worst team in the league and we had a terrible GM, and then when this movie came out, then you'd almost feel like, damn, they're like showing our dirty laundry on the screen, but it's not even close.
A blessing in disguise that the Seahawks are named in the movie. You know, if the Seahawks weren't any good, then nobody would care and they would pick another team.
So that's why I enjoyed it. That's why I enjoyed the Seahawk cameo, so to speak.
Yeah, it was cool seeing
There's a lot of Seattle in there. A lot of the logos of Seattle, a lot of Seahawk landscape shots and VMAX shots. And free publicity for the team. Yep, go check out the movie. I think you won't be too disappointed. You'll enjoy it. It's a good dramatic, fantasy-like, entertaining view of the draft. So go check it out. So again, well, you know me, I'm Norb, and again, this is Steve.
What are we doing?
Steve from his company is comc.com. Check out my cards. So if you guys have any interest in sports cards,
well, we have over 8 million cards in stock, but if you're looking for Seahawks or Mariners or any cards really, check out the website, and I'm sure we have them there for you.
In fact, this Russell Wilson was courtesy of Steve right here. The one that you gave me. Yep. If it had anything to do with player trading cards and that sort of thing, check out comc.com. It's a good site, and they are movers and shakers in the industry. So Steve's the man.
Appreciate that.
This guy is a tried and true LA, California guy right here, born and raised, right?
Yes, definitely.
This dude even worked at Disneyland at one point. So, yeah, but like I said, recently converted to Seahawk. But, hey, LA's got no football team, so he's allowed. He's allowed to, As long as he's not a 49er fan, that's all right.
And, well, on that point, being the Dodger fan, we can't stand the Giants, San Francisco Giants.
That's right.
So being the Seahawk fan, not liking the 49ers, that's just, it's an easy transaction.
Yeah, that's right. By association,
right,
you hate the same city's team.
Yeah, I hate the Bay Area, no matter what. I hated the Bay Area when I was in Los Angeles. I hate them. Now I have another reason to hate them, in Seattle.
Does that mean you dislike Oakland, the Raiders, and A's just as equally?
Yes. Well, not just... It depends on the rivalry. The Raiders and the A's really haven't done anything to the Dodgers or whatever. Right now is a perfect example. If you take hockey, I don't hate the Ducks, but the Ducks are playing the Kings now in the playoffs.
Oh, so you have
So
to
it's not like I don't care who wins. No, the Kings.
Yes, right, right.
So when they play each other, just like when the Dodgers and Angels play each other in the Freeway Series, I want the Dodgers.
Right.
Every other time, American National League, sure, I kind of hope they both win and get to the World Series. If that ever happened, it would be the Dodgers. There is a huge dividing line between Northern and Southern California.
Right.
They do not like each other.
Well, I guess that's could be compared to the collegiate atmosphere with Wazoo and UW.
Right.
You would think that, the schools from Washington, you'd root for them, but people hate that other school more than sometimes even if they're playing a team from another state. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of that same sort of thing, I guess.
Very, very good analogy there.
Were you ever a Raider fan then, or a Rams fan when they were in LA, or did that?
I was a Rams fan. Oh yeah, definitely was a Rams fan.
But when they moved, you pretty much lost your support for them.
Exactly. And I kept, just like everybody else in LA, I'm thinking, 2-3 years we'll have another team, no big deal. Everybody's still shocked today that they don't have a team.
But, it is shocking considering how big that market is. Do you think they'll ever get one?
Yes.
They inevitably have to, right?
Yeah, you would think a huge, city like that and good following.
Maybe Oakland. Maybe the Raiders will slide their way down there.
They tried that, remember?
I know they tried it. I don't even really, I wasn't following the politics back then why it didn't work out. But
yeah, I'm not sure either.
The Raiders aren't exactly doing so hot in their situation in Oakland now, so it wouldn't be a surprise to me that.
But I'm sure there was a lot of people like me that were Rams fans that hated, the Raiders when the Rams were there, and they're like, I just can't do it. I just can't change that quickly, Mm-hmm. I've hated this team, all my life.
Thanks for being on the show, bro.
No problem.
Back home now. Again, Steve Hollander, Norb. See you guys next time. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
We are the 12th man. Seahawks, we got your back. Yeah, Seahawks, we got that swag. Yeah, defense, go